remember, when we get this, our life change. You say, wow, I want to do this. You know, I want to paint this. And then we're thinking, like, who's the person that take all these photos?
While Henry Chalfont covered the cars directly from the platform, photographer Martha Cooper was capturing the pieces within their urban landscape.
And I began to cover various aspects of the graffiti scene, and it was fascinating.
What do you think about graffiti?
I don't like it, and I don't think anybody does.
So I was 14, I saw this book, and it was called Subway Art, and it was the first thing I ever stole in my life.
Well, some of it's art, some of it isn't.
What are your feelings about graffiti?
It is as much her story as it is the story of the individuals that paint and illustrate.
Unintentionally, her work
inspired the whole generation.
Generations of new artists.
Changed visual culture all over the world.
How does she have this passion that continues?
She's with us, you know, like from the beginning.
Marty was there because she was fascinated with the creativity that's part of people's daily lives.
This book literally became my Bible.
They look at her and they say, ah, there's someone who knows what I'm doing and why.
Look, it's history. She got it here.
And that's all history, you know?
Our photographs have become a permanent record of something that 20 years from now, or 50 years from now, or even 100 years from now is going to be really rare and unusual.
Well, it's something which is gone. All the pieces in the book are gone.
Oh, how about these? This is a good collection. How about this? Look at this and this. Like, these are all negatives. This is slides and, like, information relating to the slides. These are all collections. And I tend to think in collections. We should really close this. Close this. Like, graffiti unsorted. And what does that mean? Well, that means these are still in their slide boxes. I'm not comfortable with the idea that I'm a legend or an icon. One of these has got to work. And people keep using those words, and they make me feel really uncomfortable. Yeah. It wasn't the direction that I was after. Come on, smile. In fact, what I wanted to happen really didn't happen.
And finally tonight, we get a different kind of look at how kids in the city have fun through the eyes of a photographer who loves to watch them.
Can we come?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Door man, let me in the door. Spend all my money, you ain't getting no more wages. Sure, sir. Sir, are you sure? Ensure I'm not a mob. You can drag across the floor inside. Shell shock. She's standing with the guy. Guys, your man, stare him out real polite. No, please, no thanks. Wanna drink, I'm alright. Beer bottles on full of war, now I'm blind. Clear as day. I can see you made me melt. Sun ice cream. You smooth like felt. Soft to the touch. You wearing pellets for your scent of above. Angel getting carried out.
I think this one was even more nice than the other one. They were screaming like black, black, but then everybody understood weg, which I thought go.
I thought that, yes, and everybody started running. And I thought we were supposed to, I was so confused, I didn't know. I thought maybe there were cops in the station or something, and I'm running. I mean, think of those poor people that are standing there. They don't know, they think they're, you know, there's some kind of terrorist attack or something. Yeah. Like 10 people run in and start spraying on the walls.
Yeah, but he's totally masked.
I concentrated on this. Somebody was doing a big smiley face. Talk about vandalism. This was like vandalism times 10, obviously. It was like...
But they came out great pictures. And people love the smiley, really. I mean, God is so grey and so fucked up. And you pass by this one they made.
We're not talking little smiley. We're talking the smiley that covered the entire wall. I very badly wanted to be a photographer. I was willing to do whatever it took, and it turned out it took a lot. Most collectors of photographica don't collect these little film wallets, but I just love the graphics. Look at this one. Women have always been photographers. Look at the huge camera. She really knows how to use it. Kodak marketed cameras to women from the 1800s, but for some reason, it got to be sort of a man's job. So right then, it was really hard for a woman to break into like magazine photography. It was the heyday of black and white photojournalism. I didn't have any clue about how you would have a career as a photographer. I really just wanted to go take pictures in foreign places. Luckily for me, President Kennedy started the Peace Corps.
This corps will be a pool of trained men and women sent overseas by the United States government to help foreign countries meet their urgent needs for skilled manpower. It is our hope to have between 500...
I had a Rolleiflex, and I used to mail back the film to my father.
She wrote me and said she wanted to get a motorcycle and she wanted to travel from Thailand to England. The Vietnam War was going on. Any of the guys had to go home and register right away. But as a girl, you know, there wasn't any expectation. "56 years worth of travel." Whoa. Now there's a passport. I remember reading in the newspaper about a National Geographic internship.
National Geographic, a photographer's dream job. The image is just as romantic today as it ever was.
And I immediately thought, wow, I want that. I used my pictures from the Peace Corps, and I got accepted and spent the summer as an intern at National Geographic. They had never had a girl, a woman, a girl, whatever. So that was a real foot in the door.
We went in different directions as we got older, because I did have a child. She got married. Maybe if we had put it together, we would have had a marriage with a child, but we didn't. No. We each did half of what one's supposed to do in life.
My husband was an anthropologist. He did his field work in Japan. My ultimate goal was to work for National Geographic. I saw a guy completely tattooed. I had never seen this kind of tattooing. To me, it seemed like this would make an excellent story for an American magazine. I was writing proposals like crazy. I thought this would be my foot in the door. And they didn't use the story. Sometimes you think you have a great idea and it just doesn't fly. He came back, he got a job at the University of Rhode Island. I had heard that the route to being a National Geographic photographer was to work for a newspaper. I managed to work for the Narragansett Times and the Standard Times. These were weekly newspapers in Rhode Island. I was making a big effort to be what I called a real photographer. And a real photographer to me meant self-supporting. Gloria Steinem started Ms. Magazine. I read an article written by a woman who followed her academic husband around, and I recognized myself, and I realized that I didn't really want to be in Rhode Island. I wanted to be in New York City, where all the publishing was. I'm like, this is too small town for me. The Narragansett Times, I wanted the New York Times. I want to be in New York. I tried the Times, I tried the Daily News, AP, and UPI.
She came in, you know, like a light. Tiny, tiny. I think she had coveralls on and scurrying. You know, she's always scurrying. And she sat down. I just thought, oh my God, if this woman can shoot, you know, wouldn't I love to work with her? Oh my God, did we ever look like that?
We did.
That's amazing.
They needed to beef up their female staff, and I came along at a good time. I was the first female staff photographer at the New York Post.
The newsroom was amazing. Junky, dirty, celebrity, crime, all that tawdry stuff.
You showed up, you took pictures, and you're on to the next assignment. You needed to get that shot, the perp walk. Yeah, I know, they're all going like this. The Studio 54, the whole thing was that you're supposed to go there and find the celebrity night after night after night. And well, Bill Cunningham, excellent facial recognition. Turns out that it's like a genetic thing.
That you don't have.
Yes, that I don't have. There were runners practicing for the next Olympics. My assignment was to look for cleavage. That's all they wanted. So, you know, these women were running around the track.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and all I'm looking for is which one?
Which one's tits were hanging out?
Yeah, you don't remember
Oh,
that?
they had no ethics. Oh.
No ethics, no ethics.
We didn't know where we were really or what we were doing. We just knew we had a job to do. And I think both of us tried to do that job the best we could.
Susan always wanted feature photos. She called them weather shots, just filler pictures.
That would be a slow news day. No accidents, no fires, nobody's dead, nothing you could scare up. It's like a blank canvas. But she was very good at it because she loved people so much.
I just sort of fell in love with New York. There was always something to photograph. We were sent on assignments in all 5 boroughs, so I was free to be anywhere.
We set up a camera on a roof opposite a wounded car on a New York City street and watch what happened over a period of 14 hours.
The 70s were a very tough time in New York.
As neighbors casually look on, a group of kids try to break into a telephone company truck.
The Bronx, especially, was literally burning.
Highest crime, greatest unemployment, and the world's record for arson.
Gerald Ford would not give money to prevent the city from going bankrupt. Landlords decided that it was cheaper to set their buildings on fire than to try to collect the low rent.
We see the disregard towards the urban centers of this country as a national disgrace.
Even let your dog live here.
That's the city into which Marty Cooper walked with her camera.
I used to drive through Alphabet City, avenues A, B, C, and D, just looking for feature photos. New York had a reputation of being dangerous and bombed out, but it was actually a great place to explore.
She'd bring in that work and it was so lively, everything moving. Like that picture of that little kid who was bent over the, just that body language, that little tiny body. She loved that innocence of childhood.
Kids were very creative, trying to build something for themselves out of the nothing that they found themselves surrounded by.
It was that poverty that gave this city a soul and a character. Even now in my head, in my skin, I can think about those pictures and I know how powerful they are and how they are my story and the story of many young people and of this city, of what this city endured.
I saw this boy with an airplane that he had made, and it was in pieces and connected by a single nail, and he was throwing it on the ground. The airplane would fall apart and he'd pick it up and put it back together with his nail. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. I mean, they could do all kinds of creative things with minimal materials. And that's really what interested me most, that they didn't need complicated playgrounds or expensive toys to enjoy themselves.
Kids were playing hopscotch, playing stick ball, stoop ball, ring-a-lario, hot peas and butter, all these games that we used to play, skillsies.
Making go-karts, painting their tags on the wall.
The artifact of the toy caught my eye as much as what the kids were doing with it. This was my brother's camera, my brother, when he was like 3 or something. And he was very clever with it. And it has a slate that you could draw. And he actually used it. So he would pretend to take a picture, and maybe he would pre-draw something on the slate, and then he would pull out the slate, and it would have a little drawing on it. And this is the eraser for the slate. Super creative.
That moment in time gave birth to a tremendous number of things which Marty Cooper's camera and her genius captured.
It's not something you could do in a week or a month, but you could do it in a year if you have your camera every day. And the kids got to know me.
Pigeons, like who thinks about pigeons in New York? Nobody, but Coop did. Climb way up and go on the roof and learn about how it was done and who kept pigeons and why. She would get to the heart of something.
One of those boys showed me his little notebook with graffiti drawings and explained that he was practicing to paint his name on a wall. And that was the first time that I understood what graffiti was. And when I expressed interest, he said, well, I can introduce you to a king.
And we drove up there, went down into this basement. And then these kids. I didn't know what those kids were, the talent that they had.
King turned out to be Dondi, who was considered to be one of the greatest of all the graffiti kings. He recognized my name from a photo of a wall that he had painted his tag on. He was, I can tell you, very articulate. He described these big pieces to me.
Amazing, beautiful artwork, tiny drawings of these trains. Oh, they're beautiful, these books. I was just astounded. First of all, I didn't know that they even drew before they went to the yards. And then the thought of her going into the yards at night with those guys.
I spent about 8 hours one night watching him do a piece. a top-to-bottom whole car. It was fascinating. So I started going up to the Bronx looking for locations where I could see the trains. I'd never seen any of these. I'd never noticed any of these. I had never really looked at the trains. I got obsessed with graffiti. I hadn't understood at first that kids were writing their names. It wasn't like political graffiti that was anti-something or pro-something. It was just a name. Then I began to recognize names, Des or Days or Does, and it becomes kind of a game, and I got into the game. Once I got a good picture of an interesting train, then I didn't want the same background. Did I wonder why I was doing it? No, I did not wonder why I was doing it. I was just like, where's the next train?
Picture New York subways, and most people see grime and graffiti, letters and symbols and colors, covering the walls and assaulting the senses.
Well, we called it writing, and we didn't really call it graffiti. That was a term that was really used by like the mainstream media to describe quote-unquote vandalism.
We started writing our names and our street number. It was kind of like this fraternal order where we communicated through like signs.
It wasn't just about writing a name, but it was like who was writing the name the best style and how can we learn from them? Where are they?
Then they started tagging from the parks into the subway stations, onto the trains.
Many of us were also running away from problems at home.
Extracurricular activities was being budgeted out, and hell, they didn't give me nowhere else to paint, so I got to make a place.
And I had to dodge a lot of gangs. And I decided, like, nah, I'm not rolling with these cats. So for me, it was more fun to run around with the rats in the tunnels and outdo each other with color and style. I started writing around 74, 75, started tagging.
I started when I was 15. And I say that because there's people that was writing when they was 12.
10 years old.
We had a subculture, we had a way of communicating through these train lines.
So here we are at Esplanade. Wow.
Okay, well, how did we get in?
We're gonna have to, I guess, pay our fare unless you want to jump the turnstile for old time's sake. You know, you could have seen like a blade hole car there back in the day.
So we just jumped down and walked in? Is that?
That's
Yeah,
what
we
we
could.
did. I mean, like...
Okay, let's see.
I mean, I'm game for whatever. So if you film down there and you see, like, in between the tracks, these bridges, as we call them, and you have, like, a much higher vantage point to paint the train on the top half. This was a beautiful spot. You could really wreck, like, you know, with both sides, like, a couple of hundred train sides in one night.
Cool.
But we didn't know anybody outside who was taking photographs until we met Henry and Marty.
Henry Chalfant's telephone answering machine messages are far from the expected.
I had heard about him from other graffiti writers, and I wanted to meet this person who was also photographing trains.
The graffiti writer leaves Henry clues about a fresh masterpiece spray painted across a subway car. Henry goes after the shot.
There was definitely a competitive aspect to it. She was not calling me up every day and saying, Henry, there's something I think you need to get, because she was wanting it for herself. And I was the same way. The way I did it was a series turns out very good for looking at the art.
He was very interested in the art, and I was more interested in the culture.
When Marty and Henry started documenting us, we got to look at ourselves very differently as subjects of interest.
For us, it was like, wow, we're surprised that this white lady and this white dude are interested. We kind of let them in because they were truly interested in our lives.
We got to be clear now. People had cameras.
Well, Instamatic, the little 110.
But when we found out that there were other people taking good, high-quality shots, you know, it was nice to know.
Where do you ride mostly?
Mostly the layups, where to keep the trains on the weekend.
And how do you get in to do that?
With a key. Sometimes the doors are open. We just go inside, a whole bunch of us, all the writers. We just, you know, start marking up all over, inside, outside, every place.
They were there for some serious moments, you know? Like that one shot with Dondi. Oh my God. I like still cry when I think about that. That's the most beautiful shot of a boy in his freaking yard, you know?
This was going to be my ticket to good assignments with magazines. September 28, 1980, Sunday. Have just been put through the ringer by the New York Times Magazine in an on-again, off-again series of promises to publish my graffiti photos. This had me as high as a kite, imagining my first major color spread, something I desperately need for a portfolio, and then down in the depths and in tears when I realized I couldn't let them turn gorgeous color necessary to the story into undistinguished black and white. It's just ridiculous. You know, most people thought that graffiti was pure vandalism and not worth my time. But I believed in it. Young people that were so into their art that they would risk their lives to do it. I decided to leave the Post because I wanted to pursue graffiti.
She's like, I got to do that. I don't care what you think, I got to do it.
There's the famous Dondi picture.
Henry and I both wanted to have a book published. We decided to combine forces and do it together.
We worked all spring and summer on that book.
And one after another, we went to these publishers and no.
In New York? Forget about it. We tried.
Quote, don't even want to discuss.
Get caught splashing your Technicolor trash in our subways, and I'll send you to Rikers Island until your spray cans dry up.
Total waste of time, energy, and money. All you're doing is encouraging this.
Because the trains are so visible, it was an easy to latch on to symbol of urban blight.
The acid solution is sprayed on subway cars in this exotic urban car wash. Razor-lined barricades of steel have sprung up around the train yards.
I hate graffiti.
Newspapers and the mayor believed that by crushing graffiti, they were doing something to lessen crime.
Third time, a couple of days in jail.
There wasn't really a ready audience for the book, at least not in the United States. We took it to Germany, to the Frankfurt Book Fair. In Europe, I guess people weren't as tired of graffiti.
The first booth we got to, they immediately said, yes, they liked it. The rest is history. $3,000 copies. I think we felt that was small, but that was okay because we had a book.
It was a long, hard road to get that book published, and I was very happy to have something in my hands that I could show people. Now we're going to have some major stories in magazines with these pictures.
I had gotten the museum shop interested in doing Christmas cards. Chairman of the board of directors said, people like that need to be lined up at dawn and shot. That was the end of that idea.
Just they hated graffiti so much they just couldn't see through to the fact that it might be worthy of study.
They spent the day scrubbing a D train.
Kids stole it, and because of that, bookstores locked it up or put it in a glass case or didn't want to carry it because it just kept disappearing, but people weren't buying it. Subway art tanked, did not do well at all. And I'm like, I gotta move on. That was really responsible for my figuring, I cannot do this anymore.
You're gonna think twice before you do it again?
Sure enough, I'm gonna think twice before I do it again.
That was it, I'm out.
After 1989, the subway, the MTA made a policy that if a train gets hit, they'll pull it out of service so that no rider will ever have the motivation of seeing their name run.
I would have never imagined that I would have stopped writing. Like at the time, I thought I was gonna write forever. I thought the pieces was gonna run forever, you know?
Very clean.
Yep.
See? Not one little tag.
You know, if you look at this train now, you would never suspect that a graffiti culture had ever existed.
No. Super clean.
You have to realize when something has run its course and be satisfied with what you did. And I'm there. So I just rather tell the stories of when it was fun than try to recreate something now that's gone forever.
There. I mean, every time I come down, there's less and less. But that you can definitely line up here. See this little squiggle right there? That's it. Wild style, right here. Who could possibly have imagined? I want them to put a plaque here. This was a wild style wall. Years of effort. I quit the job at the Post. You know, I'd really gambled. So it was stressful. Not having any payoff to speak of. There was, I think, maybe a year when I just moved into my studio. I just put a mat on the floor. I definitely never wanted to depend on my husband to support me, and I didn't. There were some extremely strong women in my family, and I was raised to be like them. You know, I love New York, but it's definitely not a city for everybody, and it was not a city for my ex-husband.
You know, the path Coombe followed is not an easy path. Marriage didn't work out. She never wanted children. You know, this is against most society's rules. Woman, children, wife, mother, grandmother, right down there. And she was like, none of that for me.
I don't really remember like crying myself to sleep at night or anything. And in fact, I like being alone. It's very comfortable being alone. I'm not a depressed kind of person. My friends sustain me. Would you like to see my Pokedex?
Would I?
Oh.
We went into the Paris catacombs. And we went down around midnight through a manhole, went through a manhole. We didn't come out until 5 in the morning. Here, We go rappelling down this rock face. And here we are enjoying ourselves. And here we are also enjoying ourselves.
Yeah, who was that guy?
Cesar.
Cesar, right.
Okay. So that was Cozumel. You know, you get old, but you can imagine yourself 50 years younger. You know, it doesn't hurt to, doesn't hurt to remember.
These filing cabinets contain a lot of Marty's pictures. A folder on bocce, a folder on the guardian angel, the Hindu temple, the Haitian doll maker, interiors of wasps, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant living rooms, an erotic baker who made breads in pornographic shapes. City Lord has been documenting the city with Marty since we started in 1986.
I really connected with these people, and they needed photographers, so it was perfect.
Here's the photograph of the breakdancer on cardboard. And Marty just made our work sing. He was very drawn to folklorists because they were trying to study these local traditions in these art forms that nobody else was interested in. We're doing a project on casitas, little Puerto Rican-style houses built on vacant lots and used as social clubs. Somebody writing a history of New York is not going to cover those, but they're very much part of the lived experience of being Puerto Rican in the city or being Latino in the city.
From a lot of different vantage points, she's capturing this. So you can see this incredible landscape. And then you see this little casita and garden patch.
She's photographing the corners of life, which are often forgotten about. Having that record of how people lived is important. That's the only way that we have of transcending time. And the only thing they'll have to go back to is the record that Marty left.
Here, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. Oh, it says original. Interesting. I was looking all over for that.
Many of the things that she's done, nobody paid her to take photographs. She's just out there, she's just doing it. She's doing it all the time.
You know, I don't have a family, so I can do absolutely everything I want for me. I have every hour of every day I can devote to my own work. Might be that one. Honestly, I can't remember. It's a big stack of contact sheets in here. Look, this. Slides, graffiti, miscellaneous walls. That would be graffiti. I mean, when I look at it, it kind of makes me a little depressed. What am I doing with them? Nothing. You know, they're sitting in my vast archives. But, you know, before we put it in there, can we just have a peek inside and see if there's something? Because the reason I started this... That, to me, organizing my archive feels like going backwards. I want to go forwards. It seems I have the skills necessary to do most assignment work, but not those necessary for convincing editors to give me the job.
There were times when, I just wanted assignments to go to her, but she's, she's fit for a certain thing.
But back in Washington at National Geographic headquarters, Illustrations editor Susan Welchman is not thrilled with the pictures she's getting.
They hired me as photo editor. I went to Washington. They offered me the job. I took it.
At any one time, they've got about 170 stories underway in various stages of development.
Then that story came up on, something that was suited to her, so she was assigned to that.
Susan gave me a real assignment. The story was pollen. Something that I wasn't interested in then, and I'm not interested in now. I read that in Japan there was a place where they had to hand pollinate fruit trees because the bees had died out. Geographic would send you wherever it took to go get that picture.
There was no budget on time or money. A lot of photographers cannot handle that.
Susan was trying to help me. You know, we'd be editing this thing and she'd telling me to try this and try that and try something else, and I really couldn't come up with those fabulous pictures.
She thought she wanted it, but it was because it was unattainable, I'd say.
They always said, we make pictures, we don't take pictures. And I like taking pictures.
Wasn't a good fit for her.
I just like seeing something and shooting it. And that is not how Geographic works, ever, at all. When people say, which photographers influence you? I always say snapshots. I like the naiveness that people are just trying to capture the moment without thinking about unusual angles or different lenses, or I would say that the presence of the photographer is minimal. It's all about subject matter, and that's what I like. When I looked at my old street play pictures, I felt that those were some of the best pictures I had ever taken. I miss doing that kind of photography. And I thought, you know, I just want to go and take pictures and see what I can find. I used money that I inherited from my parents to do a project that I wouldn't otherwise be able to do. Here are those folks that I'm holding my little camera, my first camera. My father and my uncle had a camera store in Baltimore. My mother taught journalism. It was a tribute to them. And I kind of wish that they were alive, so that I think they would have enjoyed seeing the neighborhood that I documented. This was a dragon, and the idea was that when the mailman came and put mail in the box and raised the flag, the head of the dragon was here, and it revealed a little portrait of the house. Baltimore, my hometown, seemed like the perfect place to do a street photography project. And Sally drove me around looking for neighborhoods. I wanted to be part of the neighborhood. So we found a house that I could afford.
Why in the hell would you live in this community? Most people would not move here because of the violence, because of the drugs.
So look, this is fresh because it says Happy Valentine's Day. It's not left over from last year. And there's a big RIP taco up there, which wasn't there before.
Right behind the house over here, a few months ago, that was somebody's heroin stash.
These are all from Baltimore. Many of them were in my backyard. This one still has some interesting something in it. And there are these kids standing on the street corner and they're calling out about the caps and the green caps or blue caps or whatever. I actually don't know the difference. Isn't that the cutest little jar you've ever seen? I had a feeling that this neighborhood was going to gentrify, and I thought I'd like to see if I can document that process. I wanted to see whether there was some way I could see a change in the neighborhood. Are people going to be forced to move, and if so, what happens? And you know, I had no idea exactly how I was going to document that, but that was part of the idea.
I mean, there's stuff bad around here going on right now, but it's not as bad as it was. How fast it went down versus how fast it's going back up is like...
This is a neighborhood where you have a lot of disenfranchised people. Even to take somebody's photograph and them to be okay with it, is a big step.
Honestly, please don't film. Now, put it down until we talk to somebody. Hi, how you doing? We're just taking some pictures from, remember when I used to take a lot of pictures? Yeah, so is it okay for him to take some? No problem? Okay. Miss Cocky. Yeah, she still lives there? Is she in the house now? Hi, remember me? It's been a long time, I know.
What she did was to make small copies, 4x6 prints.
I mean, I took some of them. Yeah, this one. This one.
And she would have a little notebook and she'd write down their address.
You got a lot.
And bring them back.
Like a photo gallery.
If she came back 2 weeks later or a month later, either knock on the door or stick them in the little mailbox or slide them under the door.
What's her name?
Kanaya.
Didn't we call her something?
Lady. Yep, lady.
I think it's kind of a cheap shot to go around taking pictures of the boarded up buildings and the trash on the street, and I never focused on that. Great, perfect.
That's all. Excuse me, we're like dark for nighttime. We're gonna set up big fireworks.
Right here?
Up there.
Up there? There's gonna be some big fireworks?
Yeah, shoot up in the sky.
We'll come back. We'll come back.
Yay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. I'm not looking for the things that are beautiful, but I'm just looking for people that are making the best of what they have. I like your chairs here. One for each of you. Okay, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Yes, and all right.
People would start to recognize her and call her the camera lady.
Camera lady.
Yeah.
The camera lady's here.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been here a lot taking pictures.
I remember you.
Yep.
And they accepted her.
I've been good. Look at this. Who's in there? Who's in that picture?
Ta-ta!
Ta-ta, okay. Did the horses come back? Did the horses come back to the stable? Yeah. Can we go in?
To be able to see something that is beautiful amongst brokenness, I think takes a very keen eye.
Always my pictures are people rising above their environment in one way or another.
I just hope y'all have a good time. Hope we showed y'all a good time.
Yeah, we're having a good time.
That's great.
The Baltimore neighborhood's Sowebo, southwest Baltimore. It was named after Soweto. It's no use to take a lot of pictures about something if you aren't going to put them somewhere where other people are going to be able to see them.
The strongest would be this one.
Well, what about that one?
That one's just not a great picture.
Well, okay.
It's just not.
Now, you know what? There's part of me that still feels like I have not been accepted into the photographic community in New York.
In a way, she's undiscovered in our world, in our world of the photo art gallery. So I gotta tell you, we're gonna be avoiding cute children to some extent.
Okay.
I mean, there'll be a few of them.
All right.
We're also gonna be avoiding, believe it or not, smiling people.
Okay.
Although there will be exceptions.
Yeah.
This probably will be one of them.
And
but why?
Yeah, why?
Because
somebody else did a project on smiling people.
No,
and,
because people don't take those pictures as seriously, and they don't react to them the same way. They just it's that simple. I mean, when you see a smiling face, you're in a different realm. You're not in the art realm. If you look at across the history of art, you're not going to see that many smiles compared to much more serious faces.
It's true.
You're just not.
If I have a picture with a smiling child, I will argue that I really want in. I will make an argument for it.
You should make a case for it.
I'll
Absolutely.
make a case for it.
So, you know, you can see the theme evolving or starting. You know, people taking over a ruin and making it into
an appropriation of space.
Appropriation of space.
Exactly what graffiti is. So.
Exactly. So.
It's really about how people are making New York City their own.
Right. Right. It's New York. People are more interested in it than other places because New York is sort of the capital of the world.
At least that's what New Yorkers think.
A lot of people do.
Marty has her own unique perspective on things, and it wasn't always easy for her to get the attention that she deserved. Her acclaim was slow in coming.
Walter from Germany contacted me, and he wanted to look at my hip-hop pictures.
There was no clear book idea. I just wanted to present the New York hip-hop culture. She said, okay, here's my archive, have a look. Wow, the volume of material you could not imagine. Maybe a little bit too much.
I wouldn't have been there if it hadn't been for the Post. They sent me to Upper Manhattan to shoot what was supposed to be a riot. So they'd confiscated spray cans and markers and a knife and a gun. And when I asked the cops what they'd been doing, they said, well, they had been... I called into the Post and I said, send a reporter, this is amazing. They were dancing, they were spinning on their heads. There was no riot, so no article. They didn't like it. I was fascinated by the idea that boys were dancing.
She was there, like a normal fixture to our lives. A lot of people would come in and, you know, like, let me take some pictures of the kids dancing and they're out. But she was there.
It was not called breaking, it was called rocking. It became incorporated into this bundle of activities that became known as hip-hop.
Music, dance, and art.
São Bento was a subway station that all the b-boys and graffiti writers, rappers, DJs hang out in that time.
I remember a guy come there and say, you guys still do these things? Because in US, this stop, it's finished. There is no b-boys anymore there.
The 80s in Germany were like breakdancers everywhere. The b-boy scene and the graffiti scene was still growing. The culture was kept and developed. Same situation in France, Tokyo, and in other parts of the world. It gave young people a voice and a method to develop their skills. To put up your tag, even when it's ugly, with effort or braveness, you can become a hero.
That book turned into the Hip Hop Files. That came out in 2004. It was published in Germany, and he took me on a book tour, crazy, crazy book tour. These pictures sat in my files for 20 years. So to find out that they're not only interesting to me, but interesting to people in Germany and elsewhere is thrilling, actually.
I knew it because I traveled the world, and I knew all the graffiti writers were influenced by subway art.
Everybody seemed to know who I was. I think maybe that might have been the first time I heard that people refer to subway art as their Bible.
Well, I'll tell you an incident that blew my mind. I'm so sorry I didn't take a picture of it. We went to Brazil, and we were going to a show that the Asgemius twins had done, where they had done the whole floor, they had done the walls, the ceilings, and there was some band that was going to play. And we were standing in line, and these young people that were interested in graffiti came along, and somebody said, "This is Martha Cooper." And the kid got down flat on the ground, bowed before her, totally prostrate, to his idol, Martha. Martha was his idol.
You know, they were, "Thank you so much, you changed my life." That was the first time I really understood the effect.
All our friends from Europe, they say, "Yeah, okay, yeah, of course, subway art." They influence with this book the whole world.
For her, it's like already like far away.
Graffiti unsorted, more graffiti unsorted.
I don't think we would be here doing this even now if it wasn't for some of the publications that came out of the photos they took it from a national to a global phenomenon.
When you talk to people about how they got into graffiti before the internet, they all say through subway art.
Everyone is a copy of subway art. It's the Bible.
This is the Bible, this one here.
Subway art ruined my life.
Subway art just spread across the world, and so, you know, she's an icon.
I was amazed I didn't realize the impact that the book had had.
Long before the internet.
Because the sales were really very modest at first.
They didn't have the actual book.
And it was really hard to get it that time. Really difficult.
Very difficult to get the real book.
If you have this, you never leave this with anybody.
This book had to be passed around by hand through a photocopied version.
Photocopy, black and white. Like
And
that.
they made photocopies of those and gave those copies.
We get a pen, back them, and we write all the colors in the book.
What they liked about subway art was that it had captured these trains that before that maybe they got a glimpse of one on some television show. Subway art provided the template for them to carefully study the styles.
Really like with the length, like two crazy guys like this. The whole day. To learn it. Right? Spending like days and days like this. Imagine how many influence, how many life they change. This is crazy. How many kids all over the world.
E de manhã, para nós, madrugada, umas 5h30, 6 horas da manhã, tocou o telefone. Aí o Otávio sentou no colchão e falou para mim: "Mãe, estão me chamando na Alemanha para fazer meu desenho." Aí eu falei: "Tá aí." Entende? Foi uma emoção, sabe? Como assim, né? A Alemanha chamando meus filhos. E eu acho que foi um momento assim que marcante. Foi onde começou mesmo, né? Aí devia ser 93.
Não,
92.
Para a Alemanha não. Para a Alemanha. Para a Alemanha foi em 80.
Não, 94.
Não, Alemanha. Alemanha
não,
foi
desculpa, 98
ou 99.
98.
It's just something that you couldn't have predicted. And in a way that makes it even better. People have come up to me during this trip and said, "You changed my life." And all I can say to them is, "Well, you changed my life." And it's true. Basically, all of this has given my life meaning. This is a Shepard Fairey piece that he made from one of my street play photos. He Shepardized it. I would say that there was always something going on with street art, but I was completely out of it. This is another NASA from a photo of a little boy with hydrant. I mean, it's a huge art movement. Some people say it's the biggest art movement in the history of the world. It was definitely connected to the graffiti scene. Little photograph of me with that first camera. I'm like, you know what? If this is happening, I'm going to be part of it. I made a decision to jump back in.
Tick, boom, me not really care what me bump into. Bulldozer, make room, write that pan for me tune. Don't care if they assume, only start to collect, then I resume. You sleep, I goon, you know I want test who's better than who.
I probably thought, well, if it doesn't work, I'll jump out again. My first thought was, where is that drawing? And then my second thought was, well, I think I better put it in a protective plastic sleeve. Dondi gave me this drawing because I gave him a picture of the train. It says, I just wanted to touch base and increase my offer on the Dondi drawing to, based on 2018 market value growth for his work. If Dondi's work is now really valuable, and I knew that one of his paintings had sold for $240,000, which is an incredible amount, then I felt that this drawing should be in a museum. I just decided I'd rather hold on to the drawing. I liked it. I mean, and Dondi gave this to me. This was a present, so that was my decision.
Internet, Instagram, social media have completely changed the street art situation.
What is up? Right now, we are in Wynwood Art District in Miami Beach, Florida. It's Art Basel, the big international art fair, and so of course the Art District is popping.
In 2005, 2006, we came to Wynwood, an industrial neighborhood, crime-ridden and dilapidated, but there was this undercurrent of a lot of graffiti. What we chose to do was just take it to a whole nother level and create the Wynwood Walls.
I came out to show my art from New Mexico. I love Wynwood. It's also confusing because I'd like to see more artists everywhere and less $500 sunglasses.
1970s, 1980s, this was one of the first street artists to come about. Take 30 minutes and just, because it was illegal, they had to hurry things.
What's his name?
Crash. He's from New York City.
We call it gentrification as opposed to gentrification. But things will change. You know, that's the natural evolution of things.
Martha has been involved with all this for 40 years or more. She used to be just about the only one. It's really a different world now. There's Martha with all her experience and skill. Now, there's often a crowd of 100, 200 people, all with their camera phones.
Hi, do you think you could take a photo?
Who wants to be in the photo?
What is remarkable about Martha is she keeps going.
Okay, are we missing anyone?
I'm just interested in seeing what happens. Good, bad, or indifferent. I'm gonna try to somehow capture what's happening with it.
Who made that picture?
So, not only is this...
I guess I kind of stick out because I have white hair. But still, if I'm in any kind of a situation with a bunch of photographers, they don't take me seriously, and that really hurts. I'll fight for my position. I'm standing like this. And some guy just come and he'll just stand right in front of me.
One more, everybody. You don't have to do anything crazy.
As if I didn't exist. They couldn't believe that I could possibly be a serious photographer. Fuck it.
But you saw him slow down for me. He slowed down for me. Yeah, it's tricky with the light because it changes each time you move too, like because wherever there's a tree behind. So I'm running, and then he comes just with me. See?
Oh, that's so cool.
Got it?
He got great shots.
Yeah, but I still didn't get the.
Nobody got the train.
You know? Wide angle.
Yeah, you don't need me anymore.
Huh?
Nobody needs me anymore.
Oh, yes, of course. Only for Martha we pose.
Yeah.
She knows we hate that shit.
I just missed it. Fuck. I want to go down there. Stop the camera. I understand now why celebrities were always ducking cameras and not wanting to sign autographs and things. They would just like to be left alone to eat their lunch.
I want to take a picture with you before I leave, before I go home.
Okay, take it quickly.
Take a second.
Without having their picture taken.
We are all graffiti artists. It's wild style, baby.
I've had people on the subway recognize me. I've walked down the street. It's very odd, you know. Martha Cooper.
Marty Cooper in the house. She just flown in.
I feel like the photography part isn't understood as well as it could be. Okay.
Can I please have you sign my book as well?
Okay, you have to understand they're already pre-signed, but I can add something. And I try to be nice, but it does make me feel uncomfortable.
I've been following you for quite a while. You're amazing. You're like my grandmother.
Let's make it mother.
You're like my mother then.
There you go.
I love it.
Okay, Leon.
Yes.
I already signed it here. What are we doing here?
To the boys at Le Fix City Tattoo.
Where is Fix City Tattoo?
Copenhagen.
Oh, Copenhagen. Yeah. Okay. So do you guys know the book that I did about tattooing?
No.
I'm only a celebrity in one particular field. And you take one step out of that field and I'm nobody. It's in Denmark.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, Tokyo Tattoo 1970. It's all pictures I shot in Japan. Check it out.
I'm gonna get that one.
It's about tattooing.
Thank you.
Before the graffiti, I was interested in tattooing. You gotta check it out. And I just don't want to get caught with like 100 other things to sign. Bye-bye.
This is the next one. It's
You're like the grandmother, you know?
You know, I don't have to tell you, if you sign one tonight, other people will see it and then they'll stand in line.
Wait, what actually came from the guy in the old man mag?
She was a that way? Okay. All right. This way. It would have been enough for her to just photograph the graffiti that she saw on trains, right? For a lot of people, that's enough. But that was not enough for her.
I love illegal graffiti. Being on the inside, being invited.
Okay, we are not, if we go inside the yard, we are not sneaking under the trains, you know, because if they have a movement and the trains, the freights are so long, if they pull on a new wagon on the end of the train, you know, it hits like, the whole train can jump for some meters, you know, which is, if you crawl under the train, which is pretty dangerous. So,
that's fine with me.
We have to see if we find any gaps in between, or if we, we will try to find the best way for you.
Okay, thank you. This looks great.
Now it's time for beers.
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Oh, that's kind of cute.
Wow, great picture. Fucking nice.
I hope it's in focus.
I think it's worth to take this risk, you know, for this little short time of fun with your friends and with your closest people.
I think what we did tonight is exactly the kind of risk that I'm willing to take. So I really thank you for, not only did you take me, but you didn't, like, act as if I was an old lady.
I was scared.
Just took me in, you know?
Yeah, come on, I was scared.
So when you do something like that, you understand the attraction of the whole culture. Because that kind of thrill is like a drug or something, you know?
Oh, that's for sure.
It was perfect. It was perfect. It was great.
Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, like, do you have a grandmother?
Marky!
Look at you. I want to take you into my studio and show you some pictures.
Of what happened last night?
Yes! Okay. Crazy action. Woo.
Oh,
Marta.
Do you see any Marta, do you see any no police?
Maybe they would find me, but really, are they gonna put me in jail for this?
Of course they will.
Think? Yeah, once I've put myself in the situation, I'm not gonna worry about whether it's dangerous.
Whoa. Oh my God.
Now that I have the shots, it feels amazing and wonderful, and I am so glad I did this. But when you're in the middle of trying to shoot it and trying to get the shots, it's not like I'm celebrating the activity and congratulating myself for being allowed to get into the yard and shoot. I'm just trying to keep up and get the picture. I'm not thinking about anything other than exposure, you know, shutter speed, lighting, and who's doing what. I'm not feeling anything other than photography.
Martha could have gone into like corporate photography and photographed like ad campaigns or something and met a bunch of models. It probably would have bored her to tears. I think she likes travel, adventure, and a little bit of danger. And that's, you know, it wasn't, put it this way, the people that she photographed were not choir boys.
Go slow. Let me look. Yes, this is it. This is it.
There's a spot.
Park right here, perfect. Yep. See, look, folks.
The parking guards.
We got to get a shot of that train going bare, boring. No. Trying to line it up. Oh shit, hold this. Here. Okay, now I see I need to move. Okay, I see. It's got to be above the train. All right, so I was back further. Okay, we have to wait for the next train.
Oh, there's one. That was convenient.
Okay, good, done. We got it. Although, let me see. I want to see the book again. Look, yo.
Dandy? Bro, that's what I was telling you.
Okay, but do you know who took the picture?
No, I don't. Was it you?
Wow, bro.
It was you? I seen a picture of the lady that took it.
Yeah.
Bro,
so we're trying to get us.
You gotta take a picture with me, bro. Me and her, bro. You got a legend fucking picture. Bro.
You know, it's enormously satisfying to be able to continue having relationships with the people that I've photographed. That's incredible. I love it. In a sense, it's become my family, and I'm part of this enormous connected street art graffiti world, and that's very satisfying.
Marta
Marta, she feel that time, how it's powerful. She feel that, she saw. The same thing that I think she saw when she saw kids play with whatever they find in the streets. She see the same thing in these guys painting subway.
There is no one like you. She?
No?
No.
Aww.
We love you. She changed our life. This idea to take a photo of these guys in the subways changed it. Yeah. Right?
Okay. See you.
Bye, baby.
Bye-bye.
Everyday life is only every day for a short period of time. The subway pictures took 30, 40 years to be of interest to people, and it might take that long for Baltimore. Maybe the next big thing is going to happen in China or Japan or Pakistan, for all we know. I'm sure that there will be somebody there taking pictures of it. I'm never going to be a Google Doodle. I don't think I'm going to make it to that level. Not a very high aspiration. I don't care about my legacy. I'm going to be dead. Let somebody else worry about my legacy. Subway art is out there. The books are out there. I think they will survive. I just keep at it. Keep going. Somebody was coming. What's next?
Okay, take the next.